Posjetitelji za nekoliko trenutaka počet će finalna utakmica Evropskog Confederation Cupa između francuske momčadi Marlins Savigny Orge i španjolske momčadi Tenerife Marlins. Danas u ranim utakmicama Karlovačka liga osvajala prvi Francis čak 17-3 i tako osvojila peto mjesto koje bi, ukoliko dođe do najavljene reorganizacije evropskih natjecanja, trebalo značiti i mjesto za hrvatskog prvaka u najjačem evropskom natjecanju Kupu prvaka sljedeće sezone. U utakmici za treće mjesto, koja se igra danas popodne nakon vrlo zanimljive i neizvjesne utakmice, Astros Bozma iz Valencije osvojili su belgijskom Puerto Campanis sa 7-6. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Stadium Warriors in Karlovac for the final game of European Confederation Cup between Lions, Savigny Orge from France and Tenerife Marlins from Switzerland, while Astros Bozma Valencia took a bronze medal after winning 7-6 extra against Karlovac Panthers from Belgium.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Karlovac, Croatia for the gem of the Confederation Cup, the final game between the Tenerife Marlins, Puerto Cruz from Spain and Le Lion de Sauvignon sur Orge from France. The two best teams so far on this tournament reached the finals. French against Spanish team Astros, amazing game. Won, I believe it was a 4-2 game, but the French took command early on of a game and with good pitching and great defense, never let their guard down, which guided them to this final game. And a really amazing team. The French they were underdog in that semi-final with a heavy-loaded Valencia team with a lot of foreign players and ex-minor league players, but French team, the core of the French team, 7 to 8 French guys with a couple of guys from other teams or other cities, I would say, prevailed and made that win. For today, pitching for the Marlins, it's a well-known face for the Carlos crowd, Jose Diaz. He's a Croatian national, so he acquired a passport for 3-4 years ago, and he's been playing for a Croatian national team successfully. He played in Karlovac 1 year with Vindia in Varaždin, then moved to Italy, Parma. Actually won the Cup of Champions last year with the Parma, and now here has a chance on his home field sort of to win another cup, Confederation Cup, as he throws first pitch for a ball. Strike one from Jose Diaz. Jose Diaz was a young star when he came here, pitched in a Marlins organization, but for Florida Marlins, and great recommendation from our good friend of Karlovac's baseball program, Manny Oliveira, who vouched for the guy, and indeed he was right. Really nice kid as well as a human being, and it's great to have him on a team. Great to have a Croatian national team and all the eyes here of his teammates from a national team are and hearts are on him. Hopefully for him and Croatian national team he does good here. So but French really proved to be a tough nut for everybody to beat and surprised everybody and won the hearts of the crowd here as they won the semi-final game and had a chance to talk to their coach and as we were driving from the hotel and yes, the core of a team played together since they were kids, so they do have that team chemistry and the core of a team that it's actually from the town uh, that the team is from. So that's something special, something extra. They do play for their town, firstly, and for their team, and then secondly, I would say for their career and stats, and which is maybe not the case for the Marlins, who are heavily loaded with well, non-Spanish players. Let's put it that way. Not many guys born in Spain at all play on this team. It's mostly uh, Venezuelan-born player who are able to acquire the Spanish passport, and it goes into history in the 80s, in the 90s. Not to go into political reasons why are doing so. Still attempt. Pretty good throw by a catcher, but safe. Stolen base and French team looking to, like in the semi-final game, looking to strike first and take command of the game early. Let's see if they're gonna be able to do so. So 2 strikes, runner on second. Swing and a miss as Jose Diaz gets a first strikeout. I don't know if you're able to see the stats as the batter comes in, but I'm waiting for stats online to be available that I can bring a little bit. It's pretty well hit ball, but it's gonna be foul ball. Flyers from Switzerland, Turville Flyers won the 7th place at the end of the day. Lost today heavily to Olympia team 17-3. 6th place Vienna Wanderers, who got beat by Olympia in a round robin. Olympia finishes 5th, which is pretty decent result. Actually, pretty decent, pretty good result for this young team. Team connected with older guys and some guys with experience. The 4th place Belgium team, who after leading 6-0 was not able to hold on their lead, and Valencia Astros walked it off in the 10th inning with the rules runners on second base. Belgium team was not able to score, but Spanish team did so. Sacrifice fly, so the Spanish Astros win the 3rd place, and we're gonna see who's gonna come on top of this tournament, because winner of this game will secure their country and spot in Cup of Champions. It's gonna be for sure, but depending on the reorganization of the cups, if they're gonna happen, maybe all 5 teams here, first 5 teams, will secure the spot for the country. In the same time, I think the French did finish last in Cup of Champion, meaning that one team for France is dropping to Confederation Cup. So if French don't win this tournament, France might not have a representative in the Cup of Champion next year. And Rouen Huskies, who played Cup of Champions, were champion last year, and Lions finished 2nd. I don't know the standing for this year, but I believe the way this team is playing, they are for sure in the top of the league. Jose Diaz pretty wild, I would say. Did record 2 strikeouts for 2 outs. But like I said, it's heavy loaded team of the Marlins. A bunch of pitchers, a bunch of really big guys. You look at some of the guys on the French team, and Belgian team, Croatian team, Swiss team, and the way their constitution is, look more like Japanese type of players than European or American style players. And here on the Marlins, I mean, everybody is pretty buffed up and looks like a grown man game here for sure. And single through the middle, and French will score as the left fielder bobbles the ball and was unable to catch it cleanly. So the French strike first, 1-0 in top of the first inning. Two down. Let's see if French will continue to steal and continue to press. They did play really aggressively in that semi-final game, and with the whole dugout being up and everybody being pumped up, and every play was celebrated and high-fived like it's a 3-run home run. So like I said, pretty good chemistry there, and it's been transferring from the dugout onto the field as well. Diaz keeping the ball low and outside, out of reach of the batter for a strike. So far his velocity looks good, and did put a gun on him in well, he was warming up, and it is in 90s, 90, 91. He's been hitting. It's always good to see that those young men can extend their career beyond baseball in the States. After minor league careers, when it's finished, so they're able to go to Europe and extend their playing time for 10 years, as the ball is hit opposite to second base and easy handled by second baseman of the Marlins. But the Frenchies strike first, and 1-0 after the top of the first inning. And we're back for the first pitch strike, and we do have some problems with the live stats, so I don't know if you're able to see on the screen the names of the players. I certainly did not receive the trouble ball, but catcher handles it easily. We didn't receive the lineup, so I'm not gonna be able to deliver you the names. And anyways, with the Spanish team, I might not have a problem with that, but maybe French, and I'm not really acquainted really with the French, so maybe it's even better that I don't need to pronounce their names, because it can be hard for a person who does not speak French to do so. Anyways, one down, ball hit directly to the second baseman, plays it off the high hop. Good glove work for a second out, so quick 2 outs for French team. And it's one thing if we learned with the Latin players, you don't want to try to overpower them with the fastball. It does not work unless you can hit 105 miles, and not many players can do so in the world, so you're better off throwing off-speed pitches and a lot of breaking balls, and I believe we're gonna see those as another breaking ball for first pitch, but just high. Like I said, it's a good recipe against Latino players, and the more you throw them breaking balls, the more they will get anxious and try to do too much. And being a teammate with Venezuelan players for last 4 or 5 years of my career, I mean, I'm not gonna name the guy. He's still playing in Europe, and a great guy. And there's another breaking ball, but somewhere on his third at bat in one game, as he got like 15 breaking balls in a row, and he struck out like for a second time in that third at bat, and he just freaked out, start yelling, "No reta, hey, give me reta, no reta," which means fastball, and just left the bat there and took off the field and left the game. So yes, those things happened in amateur baseball. The only way you can find him is that he's buying the beer after the game. So, but yeah, they do love to hit fastballs, and they don't like to be thrown off speed. Of course, that's generalizing. It's but if you look at the statistical data, if we would have them, it would show for sure that the Latin guys don't really like the breaking balls. So the French doing exactly so. It's time high again. Still good weather. Weather is holding on. Let's hope it's gonna stay like that the whole game, that they're gonna be able to finish the tournament. So we just had one rain delay when it rained heavily, and it just flooded the complete field. But the amazing job the Olympia players did, just completely cleared the infield. I mean, the holes were digged in the infield, and so the buckets can come in, and so the water was put in a trash can and carried over the fence or away from the field. While behind home plate there was a swimming pool that you can kind of do the Olympic events, but the firefighters came in and everybody was able to clear that within an hour and a half, so the game could have been played. But it was the only game actually that was scheduled to be differently. It was scheduled as 7th-inning game. That was Olympia playing the Valencia Astros. That Olympia lost 3-0, and pretty good pitching performance again by Pavel Karin, who really was keeping off balance the batters of Valencia whole game. So good to see him do well as well. as he is a national team pitcher. So it's always good to see as Croatia is traveling on a European Championship this year, 24th of September in Czech Republic, with the last championship finishing 7th, which is best ever, being in the quarterfinals, beating Germans. High throw from the catcher, but it was a base and ball anyway, so really he should not throw at all because it could finish in outfield, and it was just extra bases that would happen out of this throw. But thankfully for French, it finished only with first and second, and a little bit of a control issues for a French pitcher. Let's see if he can, after getting a quick 2 outs, now 2 base and balls, a lot of pitches being thrown for those 2 base and balls. A great breaking ball, another breaking ball for a strike, but maybe some problems with communication, as the signs are being shown here traditionally. Catcher between the legs, so typical signs. Maybe actually saying something because the runner is on a second base, what sequences they gonna use. Because runner at second base, if you just go with the one sign, can look at the catcher and pick up the pitch and then relay that pitch to the batter. It's usually, as the ball is high, nice diving stop by the shortstop of a French team, but it was not enough to keep the ball in the infield to prevent the run. So Tenerife strike right back with a run, and the game is tied. Nice diving play by the shortstop. I mean, he hung in the air. It was great to see. Did the Superman jump. Too bad the ball didn't get more of the glove, that at least it stayed in the infield. Because with the runners on second and 2 outs, you're always just thought, keep the ball in the infield. If it's the worst, even if you don't field it cleanly, just put your body in front to stop that run from scoring. And he gave it all out. He was all out for it, but unfortunately for him, was not able to put all the leather needed for this ball to be stopped. So again, first and second, and still 2 outs as the ball is hit high in the air. Looks like a trouble spot, but outfielder is coming in and gets the 3rd out. So 1-1 after 1 inning. As the traditional train passes by with a lot of Costco and China shipping containers on, we're ready to start the second inning and first pitch swinging for the French foul ball. Jose Diaz on a mound, the Croatian Venezuelan playing for Croatia, Croatian national team. Played in Croatia for 2 years, played for Parma last season. Attempt of the bunt, but it falls foul, and his third baseman was charging in real hard. Looked like for a second that he had a chance. And maybe if he did some amazing, something cool as a diving play, maybe he could have had that ball, but just a strike two. Stay with us after this game as well, because we're gonna have the closing ceremony and giving out a trophy, and just a tradition for these European events. Pretty well hit ball, but directly to the outfielder, who just jogs back a couple of steps and makes a catch. One down. If you see, the French team is built, there's not the huge big muscle guys on a team, and just looks like a tough team that will put the ball in play, that will move the runners around the bases. Although they did hit a couple of home runs and show that they can put the ball over the fence as well. As the ball is hit, foul behind first baseman charging, but he ran out of the room. And this ball is getting back and goes into dugout, and probably is gonna finish in somebody's bag as a souvenir. Good breaking pitch, Jose Diaz. Showing good control. And ball hit the third baseman. He handles nicely, fires across the diamond, and it's out. Well, the ball did not finish as a souvenir. It came back to the umpire, and unlike the major league, here the balls gets reused a couple of times after it's been hit to the ground or to the field. So pitchers, if they're experienced, they might be able to use some of the cuts or some of the scrapes on a ball, or grip the ball better. As pop up to the infield, and second baseman running it and wanted to get it in the air, and snow coned it for a third out. And pretty good inning by Diaz and the Spanish crowd as they record the first zero of this game. 1-1 after first part of the second inning. as Happy Song is finishing, and we're back. One bottom of the second inning, and Tenerife batting. It's just a final game of Confederation Cup. Ball hit up in the air, and this is easy catch for the French left fielder. 1-0. The French team that was second team in the league last year lost the finals to Rouen Huskies, who played the Champions League this year. So battling against Tenerife, who I believe won last year and are leading this year in the Spanish Championship. French team was able to beat the second team from Spain, the Valencia Astros. And really one of the best games here on the tournament. The French really showed the team unity and team spirit and overcome and beat the opponent that it's had better chances on paper to win this game. So this is why we're not watching the Spanish finals, but watching a battle of French against Spanish team, and two different styles of building the ballpark, as a French team is investing in home players, a lot of 7 to 8 players who are the core of a team are together since the Little League days, and they are the core. And then with a few foreigners, they form a pretty good and tough team. Well, Marlins, of course, differently building up the team, just watching and acquiring the best talents in Europe and getting them to play for their team, and Venezuelan players from elsewhere who get Spanish citizenship, so they're considered European, and this way they can be on the roster, because you can have only 3 non-European players on the roster, and most of teams use that to bring people from United States. For the pitchers usually are the ones, or somebody really power hitting players are the ones who make it out of the States and to the rosters of a teams, especially for the Europa Cups. We see that Cruz who's president of European Baseball Association, made it back from the Cup of Champions, and also the main TC there, also a Croatian guy, Aleksandar Horvatic. So we had 3 representatives. Third one was the umpire Ozimec Fritz. Tomislav Ozimec, but the best Croatian umpire, and really had an honor to be the umpire on the final game. Was umpire on third base, and really great. He had baseball player, had a baseball career, but really switched to the umpiring, and he did amazing job as his second career. So it's always and I know it's great to see when the guys stay after their playing days, stay in a game, which is really important for the game development itself, because it's hard to get by the umpires, and not usually, but sometimes the umpires who never really had a great baseball and playing experience try to ump the game, and I tip my hat to them for that. But it's a little bit harder to become really good in umpiring if you never played the game, because you're missing that sense of where the ball is gonna go and where the play should be. So those umpires have a much harder time excelling in their game. So it's always great to see when somebody who's been a good player for a long time switches to umpiring, and it's usually a good a good recommendation. Of course, it's not mandatory that every good player is going to be a good umpire, but as it's a hard job to do, I mean, people like and have tendency to jump on the umpires, and some umpires do that. They're not really focused and they don't really care about the game that much, but most of them are really nice guys who love the game, and that's why even if they make the error sometimes, you just you should kind of take it and suck it up because they're not doing it on purpose. Of course, it's hard. Saying from the personal experience, was no angel in that category. But with the age, you start to recognize how hard that is, and then you try to go behind the plate or even in the field, and you see how challenging can it be. As the umpire ran out of the ball, so he got back a lot of foul balls in a row. And new balls for French pitcher. Like I said, umpiring, it's hard, and there's so many jobs that the ex-players can do, and as long as they stay in a game to help out, either just a coach, coach kids, or help out with little league, or just help out something around the field, or just make it as officials with their team clubs. This will strengthen the game and help the programs grow and reach the youth, which is, I think, most important in these European parts, is to work with the kids, to get kids out of the houses and onto the playing field as the ball is driven to the right field, and a line drive home run. What a great hit. Great home run, and that puts Marlins into the lead, 2-1 the score. Stats are still not up, so I cannot praise the name of the guy who hit that home run. But nevertheless, the Marlins don't care because they're up 2-1. Again, different approach by the Marlins as they're kind of waiting for a ball and trying to put the ball in right field. That last swing was like that too. Just staying back and not jumping in front. This time they got up in front, so it's easy job for a shortstop running in and recording the third out. So it's after 2 innings, Marlins scored in each inning 1 run, so it's 2-1 Marlins. And we're back. Let's see how Diaz is gonna respond pitching with the lead. And I have to say, and I've seen him 4 years ago when he came from the States. So after his minor league career, he came here to Croatia, and I have to say he's much better pitcher than he was. So he continued to work on his stuff, and he does live the life of an athlete. I know when he was here, he was not even after the big wins. He was not really the guy who would have a beer after the game. So just trained hard and trained all around, and still has that professional mentality in his approach toward the game, and that really shows on a mound. So it's good for a young man like him to get the second career in here in Europe and doing real good, and his stuff is improving, and it's also his speed is better for sure. Sometimes it's too bad that the players maybe pitch better when they were professionals, but have no chance for somebody to see him or pick them up, or because for sure they can be effective on a higher level, although this is the top of the European level you're gonna get. So a lot of college players come here thinking they're gonna dominate, and they really get exposed, and especially if they come with the fastball and they think they're gonna throw fastball by everybody, and they get hit hard as there's a hard hit to the 5-6 hole that ends up in a left fielder's glove on the ground, of course. So it's a base hit. Let's see if the Marlins can turn the double play. Like I said, Jose Diaz really looking good. His stuff looking better than it was 4 years ago. So good for a guy to. Great to see. It's a good thing for Croatian national team as well, as Croatia is in a tough group this year with the Dutch national team and a Ukrainian team the first game, and a French team that Croatia never beat. And they're giving me signals that their stats are back up, so we can flash some numbers at you. Here they are. So Jose Diaz, 3 strikes out so far, and Leo Gimignan, number 32 at bat. Pretty good tournament Leo is having, batting 429. Way to go, Leo. Good job. On base percentage about 1.143. And Leo Gimignan walks as Axel Amoros, the DH, steps in. Axel batting 222 on this tournament. Let's see if he can tie this game up, or even maybe do something more for the French team. Pounding the zone on first pitch strike by Jose Diaz. Joža, called here popular in Croatia, or Maškara. Jose Diaz is just a lovable kid, and a lot of friends here in Karlovac. Very happy to see him, and the way he is, always with a big smile. It was gave everybody a big hug, and just make sure he talked to everybody all the way down to the ground crew, Branko, and the rest of the people, appreciating everybody what they did for his life, because definitely him coming here and extending his playing career and being able to obtain Croatian citizenship. It's something that changes the life for these Venezuelan players. As he throws the ball wildly in the outfield, but was pretty good speed to the second base, turn around and through. The infielders unable to corral this ball, and fortunately did not lose the double play position as the runners stay put. And like I said, for these Venezuelan players, it's really a escape for them out of the harsh reality that they live in. Most of them live in Venezuela. Knowing Venezuela is not, I mean, Croatia is not on economic list of EU as a top country as well. But as far as when you look at Venezuela, yes, it's two down, so runners are moving, and it's easy fly. And we'll continue maybe a little bit with the situation in Venezuela and why do Venezuelan players actually seek their almost refugee elsewhere. And we're back in bottom of the third inning, 2-1 Marlins. Another breaking ball pitch, of course, and the French pitcher continues to do so. A lot of off-speed pitches, trying to get hitters on the front foot and off balance in as he does so on this pitch as well. And center fielder communicating, calling the ball and catching it easily for the one down. And we're talking about the Venezuelan players and how they try to find a second home outside of Venezuela, and it's been happening for last 7, 8, maybe even more years. And with the economical situation in Venezuela being tough, and they find their home elsewhere, and if they're able to maybe get a job here or get some pocket money from the team, that's all the money that goes back to their families. And couple of $100s that maybe they got here it's a real fortune back in Venezuela, and it's amazing how family devoted they all are. So they help their family out as ground out to shortstop and out at first base, and so with that bunny, they're really able to do a great help for their families. And when you look at the Facebook and some of the places where those guys live, and the kids are barefooted, and but it's amazing also to see how happy they are, those kids, on the street playing baseball. Of course, it's no life for anybody. I'm not saying by any means that this is something that it should be the lifestyle of anybody, but they keep that spirit, and they develop that toughness, so that really helps them out once they come here, and or in Europe or in Croatia, and it's nice to see them with that opportunity, and game of baseball is able to change their life and change their family life, although they're not getting huge big contracts in the States, which I know they all were hoping when playing baseball. And one point of life, especially those who made it to the minor leagues, were hoping for something big. But then again, coming to Europe and providing for the family back enough that family can refurbish the room, or get essential things to live, it's also pretty high on their priority list. And it's great to see how they don't forget where they come from, and they reach back and help their families out. So good job, and that game of baseball can actually make a change in somebody's life like that. And I'm not just saying experience, but change a life, maybe save a life of somebody. So just great stories. And a lot of off-speed pitches continued by the French pitcher, and number 14 on the Marlins team, Galvan Lester. Whoa, smashing at this tournament, 667. Something that Phil Smith was doing the last 4 or 5 tournaments, and for Olympia team. So pretty good tournament by Galvan. 1 RBI so far in this game. 1.38 or 1,381 on base percentage. So I don't know which way you want to say it. And he takes a walk and moves the runner and passes the baton to the next guy, and it's gonna be the catcher, Ian Perez. Ian Perez hits a high fly ball, enough room. A third out. So score stays 2-1 after the 3 innings. And we're back on top of the fourth, French team visitors, so they're at batting first. Jose Diaz on a mound, controlling the game. Jose Diaz, the Venezuelan-born Croatian citizen, Croatian national team player, had the honor to on a mound where his European journey started. Well-known mound. He was taking care of this mound many times. So far the mound rewarding him with a good pitching performance against tough French team. That it's just a team with heart and soul and really good team chemistry between them. As I was driving them today, and really good atmosphere in the van and. Driving from the hotel to the field, and they're all hyped up and ready to play this game. They couldn't wait for a game start, and they sure do enjoy playing and play hard, and are battling and staying in this game. Took the lead first, and umpire squeezing a little bit the zone for the dislike of the Spanish team. And strike three out. Jose Diaz, really, like I was saying, really looking good. Diaz is. It's great for a Croatian national team to see that, as he's the winner of 2 years ago, the winner of the game against Germany, the crucial game in a round robin. That was the first game of the Croatia on that tournament. Ball goes off Diaz's glove, but second baseman able to get it, and we're gonna ask our scorekeeper. What do you say? I wasn't looking. We got a new scorekeeper here, just a newly acquired scorekeeper. So he's his wife saying he's dreaming in numbers at night. So this one goes in the books as a pitcher 1-4, 1-4-3. Unusual but good stop by Diaz. That ball without him stopping would be a base hit down the middle. Let's say Croatia was 2 years ago playing against Germany and did not beat the German team for 20 years. Last time Croatia beat Germany, that was in 2011 in Germany, and which advanced Croatia to quarterfinals as well, and had luxury to play that game as the center fielder comes in and grabs the ball. But we'll talk more about that game just in a few minutes, as another 0 for Diaz, really controlling this game, and 2-1 Marlins after first part of the fourth inning. As the bottom of the fourth inning starts, and we'll get back to a little bit talk about Croatian national team. And I mentioned 2011, Croatia was last time beat Germany, but no, that was 2001. As the decades fly by, that happens. So it was 20 years in between when Jose Diaz on a mound pitched 2021 European Championship in Italy and recorded the win, and Toni Horvatic coming in and earning the save and closing that game, which was a big win to Croatia, which propelled them into the chance to be in the quarterfinals, and which they earned as well after beating Ukraine in a group. But 2001 was also an amazing game, and like I said last time before, that 2021 that Croatia beat Germany, and it was on their home field, as a European championship was in Germany. It was in Bonn and Cologne and Solingen, and Croatia beating Germany in front of their home crowd, which propelled them for the quarterfinal game, and at that famous game against Holland, when Holland was on the rope and Croatia leading 7-2, and that game finished 8-7 for Team Netherlands, who ended up winning the championship. But 2001 and 2023, Netherlands won the European Championship, and Croatia was the only national team who even scored the runs against Netherlands. So that's how good Croatian national team at that time was, and of course led by legendary Jimmy Summers, who that 2001 game, I think Grga Marušić started the game, and Jimmy came in to finish up, and yeah, that was amazing. Your reporter here was on the shortstop at that game, had a crucial triple that put Croatia, that tied the game, and then later on scored that run that ended up being winning run down the game. So really amazing time that was for Croatia, and great team it was, and 2003 team as well. Good generations of Croatian-born players, helped with couple of players who with a Croatian origin. I mean, through Croatian, their grandfathers or fathers and mothers were Croatian. As nice diving play by a left fielder of a French team. Wow, fully extended, really staying low and catching the ball just a few inches off the ground before it dropped for an out. So what a great play. And yeah, so those teams were just core of a team were Croatian guys, and then with the naturalized Croatians, some of them who did have a Croatian origin, and few of them did not. But again, due to the rules in Croatia, Croatia being small country of only 4 million people, it will give out or just not hand out automatically. The ball hit down the line, it stays fair, and it's gonna be a double. And the Spanish team really not giving up, trying to add another run and trying to get closer to the win. So yes, those are the years, the golden years for the Croatian baseball, for Croatian senior team, as those are the best placements that Croatia had. Even 2005, 2007 was pretty good, and then a little bit Croatia stayed in 8 pool and was in 8 pool all the time, dropped out a couple of times, but was able to get back the very next time. So really consistent on European Championship since 1999 Croatia is. And 2 years ago again the great team got assembled, and a lot of good Croatian players, Croatian-born players who play in European leagues and in a Croatian league like that. Again, powered on by a couple of key so-called foreigners, but now the true and right citizens of Croatia, who hopefully will stay in Croatia for a long time and in a game of baseball. So Croatia is investing in sports in that way as well, as if you really are the athlete that can make a difference to the sport, the government. You have to go through the rigorous checkups and everything. But at the end of the day, if government thinks you are good for development of the sports, you're gonna be able to stay in a country. As a catcher makes amazing running catch near the fence for the third out. Good job by a French catcher, and another 0 for the French team.
Završila je
And Jose Diaz is back on the mound on the top of the fifth inning as the rain is approaching, and first raindrops are falling. Still sunny on part of the field, and the rain is a little bit. The clouds are probably behind us, so we cannot see. And usually when it comes from our back, and that's southwest side, it's not good. Usually that means rain, but hopefully we're gonna be able to finish this game, or at least make it to the official time. It would be a shame if it gets stopped earlier, because there is no room for a rain delay, as there are no lights on most of the European field. As a French player pumps his fist up and picks up his dugout while running to the first, not trying to do too much, just taking the ball deep on the plate and driving it to the right field for a base hit, lead-off base hit. And let's see if the French can capitalize on that, and see if they're gonna try to move the runner first, or they're gonna let the number 56 hit away. And of course, the right decision. And I just love how the French players hustle everything out. It's just obviously a great baseball program and great baseball attitude, and they run every ball out no matter what. So far, it wasn't a tournament like that, so I believe it's like that all season around with everybody. Just love to see that. Love to see hustle, and really puts a pressure on the defense that no, there is no routine. Suddenly there is no routine grounder, no routine play, and that puts a pressure. And eventually, if you put enough pressure, the opponent will break. Let's see if Jose Diaz can prevent that lead-off walk from scoring. Usually there is a good chance if the lead-off reaches the base that he's gonna score. Jose Diaz pounding the ball in, but it was not called a strike, although it looked pretty good. And a wild pitch, not able to handle by the catcher of the Marlins. The catcher being Ian Perez. Ball went off his glove, and French team got moved the runner this way to the third base with one down, and chance for number 55 and Tom Dahan to do something cool with this at bat and tie the game up. And Spanish team understanding the importance of this run, they're playing infield in, so they're gonna try to cut off that run if possible. So the French player, all he needs to do is put the ball through the infield. It's easy to say, all he needs to do. It's hard with such pitcher throwing. It's hard with, as a matter of fact, even on BP sometimes it's hard. You hit the ball off a handle and it doesn't go that far, so let's see if the Frenchies can capitalize on this. And 3-1 count, and boy, was he ready. Takes a huge cut. Tom not batting that good, 182 so far, the average for the tournament. And oh, ball 4, and Spanish don't think so. No gusta este call de Team España. But it goes down as a basin ball, nevertheless. Maybe now the shortstop and second base are gonna move back. They're trusting their defense to turn the double play to prevent that run from scoring, which is gives more room for infielders, and they're able to catch a ball even if it's hit further left and right. Once the infield is in, it just actually you're able to get a ball that is right at you, and everything couple of steps left and right you cannot get. But this way, shortstop and second baseman are set up for a double play, while third baseman and first baseman remain closer, preventing that run. Even third baseman now moved back, so they're not expecting any bunt, obviously, or decided not to protect that run anymore. We'll see. Usually it's fake. First baseman faked like he threw the ball, and hoping that French player is gonna be a little bit jumpy or a little bit too aggressive, and is gonna try to take right away, and so maybe he can tag him out, which would be a great help for Spanish team right now. Good lead for the runner on third base. Has the pickoffs being thrown to first. Usually see the guys come back to base for some reason. The French player understanding, so showing a high baseball IQ and taking a couple of extra steps toward the home plate, because any ball in the dirt, and he already has a momentum going to the home plate, which means he can score on a bad throw in the dirt. And really good, like I said, the French team on all around, not just the defensively, offensively pitching, but on base paths as well. And one thing is, if there is a first and third and one down, even if the ball is hit to the pitcher, the runner on third should usually go. Try for defense to try to catch him, because this will prevent double play from happening. But this will not be the case or needed here, as the second out goes on a strikeout. Jose Diaz showing a strong will and staying calm and cool after that questionable call that led the runner to first base. But now it's 2 outs, and let's see if Diaz can pull another trick out of his bag and record another 0. That would be the 4th 0 in a row. As far as the inning is concerned, French team scored in first inning right away, and Marlins tied it, and then on a home run to the right field got their lead in the bottom of the second, and then stay like that ever since. And first and third, good situation for the French, not really trying to do much on the bases, which considering the catcher's arm strength, maybe. Ooh, good pick off, as a runner was kind of took him a long time going back. It was more of a fall than actually a slide. so he stayed up, and first baseman was able to tag him, but obviously he grabbed the bag before he was tagged, so he remains there, and inning continues still, so French still have a chance to tie this game up. And a little jumpy at third base, the runner is trying to catch Diaz off guard, maybe draw a balk. Sometimes if you start running kind of fake run, the pitcher will flinch, and which will be enough for the umpires to call a balk, and it's a free score. Ball to the third baseman coming in, and adjusted his legs, really moving forward. The ball took a kind of a funny hop, but he was able to catch it and record the third out. So after the first part of the fifth inning, 2-1 Marlins from Spain. Hey Garrett, come here. Yes, Angora. As we're back, and you've seen a nice double play after leadoff reached a base, but French defense really excelling, and we're gonna have our first guest here today, and it's a pitcher of Olympia, and Garrett Perkins here in Karlovac came a month ago to play Croatian League and play on this tournament, so first international experience for Garrett. And so Garrett, how it is so far?
As you said, it's my first international experience, and I gotta say I'm loving it. Competition is good. Got good teammates. Gonna play some good baseball games this season. Had a lot of fun. I mean, got to meet some of the guys, some of my kinfolk from America playing here as well. Yeah, overall positive experience. Really excited to see what the future holds.
Yeah, and it's been pretty amazing, and I've seen you're enjoying yourself here, and that's the way it should be, and it's great for a game of baseball to connect people like that. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. You played baseball probably all your life, or?
Yeah, as a little kid, I started off 10 years old and I picked up my first bat.
Just hold the microphone here. It's not really sensitive as it should be, so just hold it in front of your. Yeah.
So about 10 years old is when I picked up my first bat. Ever since then, I picked up the glove instead of the bat, dropped the bat because it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I was actually saying that I don't know when was the last time you officially batted, as you took an at bat.
Last time I officially batted a ball game was 2 years ago for a pinch hit experience. But in a game that mattered, I had to go all the way back before high school. Yeah, it's been my entire life. The bat couldn't keep up with the arm, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Became a pitcher only, and haven't really looked back since. But here I've gotten 3 at bats, soft line out to shortstop, and 2 good old walks. So.
Yeah, you look like you knew what you were doing here,
Relative. It's all relative at this point.
It's American genes, so it's whoever I get. And I said that whoever comes from America, doesn't matter when you batted last. It's just probably ever since you were a kid, your dad or your folks or parents were throwing you the ball and playing catch with the friends, and it's.
Pretty much. I grew up sandlot baseball. We always find a way to play a game in the nearest park by us, so yeah.
That's beautiful. So you're a old school baseball guy, huh? So playing with the kids, playing with your friends, staying on a field.
We used to play baseball games in jeans and in t-shirts. So yeah, we'd have not a full field. We'd have 2 outfielders sometimes, maybe even 1 outfielder. But just it's the way. If you love the game, you always find a way to play it.
So you obviously played the college ball, and you finished the college this year. And for what college you played? And
I played at 2 schools. I played at Oglethorpe University, which is a D3 in Atlanta, Georgia, and Kaiser University, which is a NAIA program in West Palm Beach, Florida.
So how would you compare the level of baseball that you played there as a college versus what you've seen here? As one is a Croatian league, obviously, that you play, and this is the European competition. So how would you compare to?
I will say that the teams we played regular season, they had a lot of variation in terms of skill level, in my opinion. You got to see a lot of, you could tell which ones were the foreigners and which ones were not and stuff like that. But here in this tournament, it's like night and day. I mean, these guys are on par, if not better, than.
That's a ball deep. Looking at a home run, huh? How about that? Yeah.
Right field. We just watched by Tenerife.
Yeah.
Took the ball up, and did a job with it.
Good job. So 4-1 up Tenerife, and like I said, Tenerife, they look like a grown man, all of them. And I mean, they're pretty big and buff.
I was telling them earlier, they came here to play.
Yeah.
Business. First game, you see a mercy rule. Second game, you see 7-1. They're not messing around over here. They took out their Spain team yesterday, and it just showed up like they came here to play ball and do business.
Yeah, before the tournament, everybody put them up as a #1 favorite to win, and they're certainly proving this in this game.
Definitely proving it.
Although the French team was a surprise. I mean, I don't know if you watched the semi-final game yesterday, but they really came out, and they're really the team that hustles out, not like a big power guys that you see there, but just guys hustling and playing baseball as the ball hits a camera. Here we go. Hits a camera, and now you can see straight down. You can see the straight down, the new frame that we're gonna have, and unfortunately we're not gonna be able to stop the game in order to fix that, but we have 2 other cameras working, and what are the chances for that happening, huh?
I mean, baseball's a funny thing. You see light bulbs breaking, but this is the first time I've seen this smoke a camera. So, real luck of the draw here for our booth here. But, we got a couple more cameras looking at all the views for you guys. So.
Has another hard hit.
Smoke baseball,
Smoke baseball on the warning track, and he
caught.
gets it out. And Tenerife scores 2, so 4-1. We'll be back after this break with more Garrett Perkins talking about baseball. And we're up and we're back here in top of the 6th inning. The French team tries to get back in this game 4-1 for Marlins, and we're talking in Svako Gosta inning dosta, so 1 inning talk of baseball with Garrett Perkins, the newly acquired Olympia gun pitcher with a pretty good speed and a more filthy changeup, as Manny Oliveira explained, and we talked a little bit about the experience he has here. So, and we just mentioned one difference that he saw so far, as the Frenchies will ground out for a first out. And you said that the place where you sleep, they work in the morning and it gets hot. And why don't you cool off the house?
So yeah, it's the outside my apartment that I'm luckily staying in. There's a lot of construction going on, especially around the town of Karlovac, the city of Karlovac. I just, wherever I walk, it's at least 2-3 construction sites. But that's city living. You see that in a lot of cities, especially in America. It's the same thing. There's always construction. Nothing's ever finished. You know.
And we're trying to fix our sewage system, so and heating all as well. So it's been hot. So
it's been a toasty one. But it's.
So not every house has air conditioning, huh?
In Colorado, that's one of the differences I've noticed is that in America we actually have air conditioning in a lot of places. Grocery stores, offices, and especially apartments. Here it's different. But it's also, you adapt and you crack a window. You take a cold shower before you get to bed. There's ways to
the Wim Hof thing, huh?
There's always ways to cool off.
So what are the other differences that you've seen that it really kind of amazed you or struck you, or
people here? People here are different level of hospitality than I've ever experienced in America. You know, going out for coffee is a social event. In America, you go out for coffee to either pick it up or you just stay there and work on your job. There's no hour, 2 hours for coffee to sit and just chat and go over life. That's not one of the things we do. That's alcohol. But here, everything. It feels like everything here is a social event of some sorts. You see the baseball games here. The fans are out here. They're having a good time with their families and stuff like that. It's from what I've done in my colleges I've gone to. I've never had that many fans going to the baseball games. Here, it's everyone, their sisters out here, coming out to watch and support their team, just to have a good time on a beautiful day. Even though it rained today, people are still out here watching the games, watching in support for their, for Team Olympia, and it's a lot of fun. At the end of every game at home, I can appreciate the fans coming out. As we see a fly ball to second base calls off. Out number 3.
Number 3. Looks like Spanish team is having fun on the field, and they should, as they're
having a day.
Yeah, they're up 4-1, and we'll be back after these messages. After the music, we have to turn down the volume. So, yeah.
Oh, as we see a home run to left field, deep, far. Is exactly what it looked like. Home run solo shot by number 22 on Tenerife. Yeah. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've given up a home run. I gotta say the last time was 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, I mean, I pride myself on being a very uncomfortable pitcher to hit, but yesterday, I must have been the coziest to hit, And that's baseball. I started off the first guy, had him 1-1, and kind of let the fastball a little too high, and he thanked me for the opportunity and definitely punished me for it. Second guy though, I gave a good pitch, low and a little bit inside, and he just turned on it and. Right, very next pitch, second home run. As a pitcher, you just gotta, you gotta take that in stride. You gotta look at the positives at that point. You're pitching to contact. You gotta respect that. So, yeah. Yeah. So, with my changeup. I use it in all situations, in all different counts. You know, that's the one thing I've prided myself on. You know, through high school, I was able to learn how to, take this change up in any situation, any count. I have to be able to throw it. And yesterday, it was what kind of saved me through a couple of those innings, is because I was able to throw that change up. Got a couple strikeouts off of it. Got a couple. Got a fly out from the first inning because of it. At that point, when you don't have your best stuff, you gotta find a way. And I came out yesterday, maybe not have my best stuff, but at the other day, job's got to get finished. You gotta do a job. You gotta do a job. Yeah. And I've been saying more and more times, that's baseball. There's things you can control, and there's things you can't control. What I could have controlled possibly was how I was able to adjust after that, call, and how I carried myself afterwards. Maybe at the end of the day, you gotta have a brain to pitch to contact and not let ego say, "Hey, I can't throw it to contact because they're just gonna hit me." You have to let that piece of your brain go and do a job, And I showed some signs of it, but too little, too late. At the end of the day, too little, too late. Yeah, it's a learning experience. Yeah, it's a learning experience. But I gotta. Yes, absolutely. Oh, for me, I've been playing against older people all my life. I was always the younger kid, but it's only been by 1 year. Here, I'm going against guys that are 25 and up, and that's completely. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But I will say that the one thing I could take away coming here from the United States is that you see a lot of the other people, you see a lot of the other international players, like some of the guys from America and some of the guys from Venezuela. As we see a bunt laid down to get him over, catcher makes a throw, gets him out of first base, holds him a second. Yeah, good arm, pretty solid, pretty quiet. It's not trying to do more than he has to. But yeah, come over here and seeing the people that are international here and seeing the adjustments that they make in terms of European baseball, it only inspires me and lets me know the kind of work I need to put in the off season for me to come back and maybe make a difference next time. As you see a base hit down the right field, holds him up at third. No play at the plate. Yeah. All about applying pressure on the new relief arm for this team, this French team. technical difficulties.
Ah.
So thank you for the opportunity.
No, that's okay. No, go ahead. Obviously, my mic was off or something, so whatever you heard me talking, it. Fortunately, you heard Garrett here talk, but as I was mentioning, and most of the talk was done by Garrett, so you heard the most important stuff needed to be heard. But my point.
Difficulties in the business.
Yeah.
You see a
Oh wait, no foul ball.
Right field, foul ball.
But I was saying about yes, we're talking, and you said how you actually play here about against the older guys and grown men, and I said there's like guys here, you have a college level experience, but you actually come here and you get the ex minor leaguers playing here, and Diaz is one of those examples of the guy who's been released by the Marlins 4 years ago, but actually find a second life here in Europe and worked hard, and actually he's now better than he was in minor league. So it's just kind of also the shame that those players don't get exposure anymore, because the way he's pitching, and looks like he can maybe make a difference as well. On,
I mean, he's got the stuff. It's what it looks like. I mean, he's going out here, he's throwing one run, and going into the bottom of the sixth here now. It's it's good baseball. I mean, this French team is not necessarily a team that's too weak. But just you can see just a dominating presence here by Tenerife.
Yeah. So Tenerife, heavy favor, looking to move up and secure the spot in a Champions League next year for this year's Spanish champion. So if the score stays like this, whoever is champion of Spain will go to the Cup of Champions as winner of this actually tournament. Let's say moves up the country for the top tournament, and these two tournaments, the Champions League and here are the top. Those are the top 15 teams in Europe, and just great for a small town like Karlovac, 40,000 people, small country like Croatia for 4 million people, for our small baseball program, actually to have a team present in such a high level of baseball. And overall, what do you think about the infrastructure here as far as the baseball? I know you've probably been and being you've been in Florida, you said,
Yes,
or so?
Yes, from Florida.
Yeah. So you've been exposed to probably the nice fields and everything, but
Yeah, you mentioned that. In the United States, you might have more advanced facilities, but at the end of the day, the drills stay the same.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're willing to put in the work, it doesn't matter whether it's a drive-line plyo care or a bag of rice. I mean, so long as you get the job done and you're doing the drills the right way with the proper form, doesn't matter. I mean, where you get to practice in, so long as you're putting the work in. In ideal situations, you want nicer stuff because it's maybe a little bit easier, maybe a little simpler. But at the end of the day, you're not going to let the price tag affect whether or not you're willing to put in the work.
Right. Okay,
I will say that some of the stuff we have here at Karlovac, it's on par with a lot of college programs. We have a batting cage that's already better than a lot of the colleges I've gone to. We have a mound. We have a sort of indoor facility. We have a weight room. You have the tools there.
Yeah, locker room and stuff like that.
Room.
So yeah. Yeah, barbecue in the back. Hey, what do you think about Croatian barbecue? Come on, man. We do take a pride in our barbecue, and so yeah.
It's fantastic, especially with the seating there. And,
it's really cozy for a players because you walk out of your locker room and you get to sit down.
Time before you go out and play the ball game.
And after the ball game, you're able to kind of sit down, and then somebody is making barbecue, so you cook the food, and so it's a family feel like that's what we try to achieve. So last question. I mean, you're not eligible, unfortunately, to play in a Croatian playoffs, because you were not here since the beginning of the season due to the college responsibilities you had. So you came here, played in Croatian league for 8 games or so, and then had this Europa experience. There's one more game in Croatian league. But so what are your plans for the summer? Are you planning to see Croatia a little bit? What do you know about Croatia at all? And
So right now I'm gonna be leaving July 10th to go back to the States because that's all the paperwork. That's all the paperwork that I have allowed me to do. Um, but I would like to see a little bit more Croatia. I'd like to go back down to Split and experience the water side of
Oh,
Croatia.
did you see, just going back to Split, that the Split guys found Alex
Alexander
Rodriguez.
A-Rod, yeah,
A-Rod.
I saw
And nobody paid attention to him there, so he can walk freely. But
Yeah.
two guys from Split
guys-
playing baseball recognized him and
of course.
took a picture. So it's pretty
Yeah, it's,
amazing.
it's awesome. There's some places I want to visit. Some opportunities I want to see. I want to go down to some of the rivers here in Karlovac. I want to go outside to Zagreb, Dugaresa. Obviously exploring is the name of the game, but
Yeah.
Well,
we'll let you know on a few spots that you have to see, and
Yeah,
maybe a few
absolutely.
parties that you need to attend, so to have a good time. And really, it's been a great time having you here, Garrett. So enjoy your stay in Croatia. I know you'll be hanging out with the team and for that extra game that we have, and hopefully we're gonna see you in the future on the mount here in Karlovac,
I hope to see it.
accomplishing the big goals that you have. So
Yeah,
good luck,
I'm
man,
looking
and
forward to it,
really
yeah.
nice having you here, man.
thank you
Enjoy
very
your
much
time
for the
here in
opportunity.
Croatia, man.
Take care.
Yeah, take care. Thank you. That was Garrett Perkins, the newly acquired pitcher for Olimpia Karlovac that came here on recommendation of Manny Oliveira, who I mentioned a couple of times, being a great friend of Croatia baseball. And Garrett was really eager to come in here and really show what he can do. Unfortunately, I would say for him, it wasn't perfect as he thought, maybe, or we all were hoping it's gonna be. But he showed really a potential, and he showed the poise and was able to, after really first two batters when they hit a home run of you, just it's a hard, especially for a young player on his first international experience like that, when you're always playing against people your age, and you walk in here and there is like grown men with 25 seasons, senior seasons behind them, with a great experience. And after those home runs, he was able to pick up and really handle things well for a couple of innings. But to be fair, the umpire that was calling that game had a little bit of a narrow strike zone, and Garrett, especially with his fastball being a little bit, let's say, wild effective, did not benefit on a couple of calls that umpire had to make, and it just changed things around as just Marlins keep pounding, and it looks like this game is getting away from the French team. It's 8-1 for the Marlins in bottom of the 6th inning. So does not look good for the French team, and I'm not sure if French have that will inside of them, or maybe they do have a will, but do they have enough time and power to come back and change the course of this game? The Marlins right now just look like a better team. It just keeps on hacking and adding, and not trying to do too much, just singles in crucial situations, hit a couple of home runs as well, both of them solo shots, and hit by pitch, which will load the bases for Tenerife. And if Tenerife are able to score just 3 more runs this inning, it will make it 11-1, which is eligible for the mercy rule after 7 innings, meaning just only 1 more defense they're gonna need in order to become the champion of 2023 Confederation Cup. So Confederation Cup, the European Cups, which is the pinnacle of season here in Europe. Well, the best European teams stop the league and face off against each other. It's been happening in 6 different cities around Europe, depending on what level. Obviously, in Holland was the biggest cup of champion, #1 cup, with top 8 teams play there, and this is the 2nd highest cup here in Karlovac, where teams 18 to 16 are playing not just maybe not 18 to 16, because Marlins are up there in top 5 teams for sure in Europe. So it just depends on a lot of factors. As a French team gets an out and finally gets out of the inning and keeps this game rolling and trying to stay game for 9 innings, and let's see if they're gonna be able to do so. So we'll be right back in a few minutes with the rest of the game. And Jose Diaz continues on the mound for the Marlins as leadoff reached the base. See if French team can turn it around, and a nice diving play by the center fielder for the Marlins. Good job defensively by Tenerife Marlins. It was Galvan Lester making the dive and making an out. French aggressive, of course. They need to stack up a couple of hits in a row in order to come closer and keep this game alive. And obviously, Marlins put him up 4 in the 6th inning, helped their cause out, and gave Diaz a big breathing room that he can come in and pound that strike zone. And look at that pitch by Jose Diaz. It looks professional. Really, he does, and it's amazing what he's been able to do and the way he progressed playing in Europe. So good for that young man. As a French hit the ball hard, but just in left fielder's glove for the second out of the game, and Marlins cruising through this inning so far. And the leadoff, I believe, for the French team, it's Tom Dahan. Hitting 182 so far in tournament. Dahan is. Somebody's banging into our booth up here. Reporter's booth. Jose Diaz gets a sign and exhales and throws a pretty good pitch for a strike, and a rainbow out here. Yeah, maybe you can see it's a rainbow over the baseball field in Karlovac. It's been raining and sun at the same time, and maybe the profile picture as well somewhere you can find. We had like a double rainbow once, so it's really pretty cool and pretty sight for this baseball field. As a French hit and run, but the right fielder is right there, recognizing and reading the pitch well off the bat and recording the third out. And Diaz, ever since first inning, he's been almost perfect. We'll be back after we let the music play for the crowd. Another double play by the French team, really flashing the glove. First, you be able to see the nice stop by shortstop, diving play as he got back and threw the ball to first base, but not in time. But right after the ground ball for one pitch for 2 outs. It's always the best pitcher's friend. They say it's a double play, and indeed it is, as it saves the pitches, saves an arm. So French really showing why they are in a final. So they're battling to stay in this game, not giving up. Try to come as close as possible, maybe to do the upset and turn this game around. And for that, they'll need to stop the Marlins offense that's been phenomenal last 2 innings, and just a bad breaks, and a shortstop gets a ball, throws the runner to first base, and it remains after 7 innings 8-1 Marlins. Back at the weather is changing from sun to rain to sun to rain. And Jose Diaz on a mound for the 8th inning, looking to go distance. Jose Diaz delivering, and he pitched 12 innings just before these tournaments in a span of a couple of days. So he was saved in the first games just to be pitching this final game, which is a great honor for this national team player for Croatia to do so. Last year won the European Championship, the Team European, the Cup of Champions with Parma. Pitched the game, group game there, and now here with the Marlins, Tenerife. Spain suits him the most, as for more than Italy, it's easier for him being Venezuelan-born player in a Spanish-speaking country. I think he brought over the wife and a kid, or he's planning to do so, which was a big difference in choosing where he's gonna continue his baseball career. So we wish him all the best in his life, and he deserves all the luck out there, because he's really a nice kid, and like I said, a hard-working player that improved while here in Europe, which is coming off as pretty high standard. Somebody who was with the Marlins organization, and by Marlins I mean Florida Marlins organization, to be here, or Miami, whatever it's called now. as he pounds the strike zone. So great pitching performance and 6 zeros in a row. And these innings look like he's not just not slowing down even a bit, just pounding the zone and feeling comfortable with that 8-1 lead and looking to close off this game. And if he does his job, there's no room for French team to come back. Foul ball, just a little bit foul down the third base line. And a lot of great friends here that we have. And Tomo Jeslina from Slovenia, a great friend of Croatian baseball and really good guy, player for Golovec, an umpire now, and helping with the baseball 5, helping with the softball, helping with baseball. It's just great to see guys after their career is done to stay in a game, as everybody is congratulating Jose Diaz. I don't know if that's gonna be all for him. They're gonna put somebody in the 9th inning unless Marlins are able to score 3 runs and finish this by the mercy rule in the 8th inning. But we'll be back in a few minutes after the music break. Swinging, that's gonna be easy ground out for the French defense and 1 out. As we're back in the bottom of the 8th inning and commanding lead 8-1 by the Marlins. And if Marlins scored 3 runs here, it's gonna be mercy rule in a Champions game, and with this they can win the Confederation Cup. If not, they'll have to play full 9 innings. See what happens. I don't know if French team is able to come back, especially the way that Diaz was handling the situation, and defense of Marlins playing all around, a lot of good arms and really good reads on a ball, especially by the outfield. Couple of diving plays, so really now just the players hacking 8-1, and that's exactly what they should be doing, just hacking away, trying to hit the ball hard, maybe get that one more hit in their stats, which will propel them into the best hitter or such categories. And there are individual awards here, obviously for the MVP, the best pitcher, And we have best batter. Tomislav, do we have best defensive player? No. No. No formula for that, so try to avoid that, I guess. Just a high fly ball and easy catch by the French right fielder, and it's 2 outs. And 1 more out, and French team will go into their last chance to tie this game up or extend this game. But the way it looks like, Tenerife Marlins will be the champion of the Confederation Cup and secure the spot for Spain in the next year's Champions League. So do we have any first-hand information about Champions League being expanded? No? As Cruz came back from the Cup of Champions that was held in Holland, so obviously him being a president would maybe have some information or possible new format of the league, if that's gonna be the case. If not, it's gonna stay like this, and the Marlins will secure a spot for a Spanish team, for the Spanish champion, for 224 European Champions tournament or Cup of Champions. Traditionally, these European Cups are being held beginning of June, and it's a great time for European baseball. It's a great time because you travel elsewhere in Europe and have a chance to play against different teams, different nationalities, and those are really, as far as competition, really great competition, and it's definitely the best what Europe has to offer during the season. So everybody takes this cup seriously, and it's something it's not mandatory. You cannot pay to get in. It's not invitational. You gotta earn your right through the seasons of hard work in order to play such a tournament. So definitely whoever is in these tournaments takes it seriously, obviously wants to win and wants to move up and wants to bring the glory for their teams. And Tenerife just a few outs away from such. While they try to add another one, ball is smashed in the deepest part of the field and goes over the fence, and what a shot by Tenerife Marlins, making it 9-1. And this is a player with number 27, if I'm not wrong. As he crosses the plate, thanks the God for this shot. And it is the player with number 27, so Jesus Ustaris, if I'm doing it right, batting 500 before this long home run. So a pop-up, and it's gonna... First baseman is gonna run out of a room, and it's a foul ball. And Lester Galvan, 3 for 3 today with a home run, but overall 714 batting average, I believe. That puts him in a category for a best hitter. Well, this pop-up not helping his cause. And it's after 8 innings, 9-1, Tenerife Marlins.
Tenerife Marlins, Les Lions.
And we're back on the top of the ninth inning and a pitching change for the Marlins. Jose Diaz, who really did amazing job for 8 innings and just pounding the strike zone, allowing only one run, and that was in first inning. After that, once he settled in, he was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing job he did, and it's good to hear for the Croatian national team and the Croatian national team coaches. I bet they love that performance by the young Croatian national team player, Venezuelan-born, but plays for the Croatia team as he earned his right for the Croatian citizenship, being here for 2 years and really helping out the baseball in Croatia. It's great to see him and great that he's staying in a game and he's been able to change his destiny in his life after being released in a minor league for the Marlins, finding a new home here in Europe. And it's apparently he says he's gonna be bringing family here as well, his wife and a daughter. So we wish him all the best and just a great job. And for sure, Jose Diaz will see you at the beginning of a national team camp here in Croatia and end of the August when senior team is starting its preparation for the European Championship in baseball that it's happening from 24th, 23rd of September in Czech Republic. Before that, has a first strikeout by a reliever and a first out, so just 2 outs away are Tenerife Marlins, who really were a favor from the beginning, being first in the Spanish league, which is one of the top 3 leagues in Europe. And the way they played, they looked like the team that should win this tournament, and they really showed here. And fifth and sixth inning were decisive, scoring 2 and 4 runs, which put the game out of the contest for a French team that played pretty amazing semi-final game, but it was unable to do more than actually or start the game with the 1 run and winning the game and winning the game just for half of the inning. But as the base hit is there, it's gonna look good on the stats for number 27 from the French team. So we're gonna be back here with the Croatian League. It's now kind of a 1 week stop as other team from Croatia, Zagreb, is playing the qualifier of a Federation Cup in Hungary. And then after that, one more regular season game for Olympia against India, which will be deciding for the first place in for the playoffs. And Olympia has advantage, and Olympia can even afford to lose. But if they lose by 7 runs, then the runs difference will make this decision who will be the number 1 spot for the playoffs. And in that case, that would be India. But any loss with 6 runs or a win or less, or the win, would secure Olympia number 1 spot and chance to actually go to Split, because the Split series has been changed. Whoever plays Split, with the Ultra Europe being held in Split at the time when baseball game was, and games 3 and 4 of the playoffs should happen. And so there already has been talk about changing of who is the home team and who is the visitor for that for that series. So because you're just unable to find any spot in Split to sleep during that time, and in radius of 100 kilometers as well. Just Ultra Europe being a kind of electronic music festival happening in Split for now, I think 7 years, and where the whole world comes there, and just a crazy time. And just a baseball, it's hard to find a hotel. So actually, although Olympia will have that spot, it's already the split team. So the first two games will be played in Split, and that's end of the June, and then the week later, games 3, 4, and 5, if needed, will be played in Karlovac. So Karlovac will keep the advantage of the home field, but just not gonna play first two games as a home team here in Karlovac, but as a visitor in Split, which is maybe even easier for traveling. So, and after that, the best of 7 series finals will start, and after that, as there is a pop-up and a big win by the Marlins. So Tenerife Marlins win the 2023 Confederation Cup. Congratulations! As the water is being poured on the players to celebrate a huge win by the Marlins, 9-1. Marlins secure the spot for the Spain in Cup of Champion and win this big cup. And congratulations to the team, well deserved. They were the best team throughout the whole tournament. As we wind down our baseball talk, we're gonna have a trophy presentation real soon, so I'll be off for a couple of minutes and then we'll be back with the trophy presentation in a few minutes.
Čestitke Tenerife Marlinsima, congratulations Tenerife Marlins, pobjednik Confederation Cupa u finalu 9-1. Ostanite još neko vrijeme s nama, sad će biti podijeljena nagrada i za najbolju momčad.
Najbolje momčadi i za najbolje mladince, pa se vidimo za nekoliko trenutaka. Including vidite da nogometna informacija u kvalifikacijama za drugu nogometnu ligu Centar u Zagrebu za 1-1. Once again, we would like to ask all the teams please to enter the field for award ceremony.
As we're waiting for award ceremony and teams to come in, and a French team in behind the first base and talk with their coach, I'm sure they're proud of the way they played this tournament. And there was a lot of good things the coach had to say as was driving him and about his players and the way they were acting and behaving. So it's really great to see a young team like that, constituted of mostly French-born players, to excel on such a level and make it to the finals. And it's on the other hand, the Marlins, Tenerife Marlins, really team by itself, the team that looks like it can play the minor league, that can take out any minor league team. It's great to see such level of baseball here in Europe, and it's the combination of the both. It's to the benefit of all. So Tenerife Marlins in first place and French Lions in second place. Third place was taken by another Spanish team, the Valencia Astros. Fourth place by the Belgian team Pioneers. Fifth place the hometown heroes Olympia Karlovac. Sixth place Vienna Wanderers from Austria, and seventh place a Swiss team Flyers. So pretty amazing tournament, well organized, and just take this opportunity to thank you all viewers that hang in there, and really pretty good, as Krunoslav Karin will now do the award ceremony down at the field. So yeah, you can do. Reci.
Tehnički delegat turnira, gospodin Orge, sada će se obratiti svima sa nekoliko riječi i podijeliti pojedinačne nagrade.
So Redrick Bolt, who is technical delegate of the tournament, and you may hear from the PR, so he's gonna do the presentation for the individual awards. Here we are. We're good to go. A little bit of technical problems, so hopefully you're gonna be able to hear Krunoslav Karin.
Can the teams please come a little closer? A very short ceremony. All right, please come a little closer, everybody.
No, fine.
First of all, before I start handing out individual prizes, I have to give a big round of applause for the team from Karlovac, who's taking so good care of the field, especially on Thursday.
As the Karlovac team gets another standing ovation and a prize for really doing the great job on the field, and those are the players who did so. So
I think everything went very well. Confrontation was on time.
I'm sure you're able to hear the talk. So
Alright, individual prize. Let me say that best hitter and best calculated on basis of the
in the round robin and the semi-finals. Best hitter, hitting 636 from the home Pioneers, Lucas Savigny. Best picture was a one-and-all record, 0 ERA in 11 innings from Valencia Astros, Giovanni Perez. Hitting over 600 is a home run and 5 RBIs in the final from Tenerife Marlins, Lester Bolton. I sada pojedinačne ekipne nagrade, zaplješćemo prvo svima ostalima. 7. mjesto, 7th place, Tenerife Marlins, Švicarska, Switzerland. 6. mjesto, 6th place, Marlins, Austrija. Na 5. mjestu, domaći turnira, 5th place, Olimpija, Karlovac. I 4. mjesto, danas blizu 3. 4th place, Confederation, Belgium. I sada 3 dobro plasirane ekipe na 3. mjestu, 3rd place, Bosmero. Astros, Baseball, Valencia, Spain. Drugo mjesto, 2nd place, Los Leons, Savigny, Orge, Francuska, France. I prvo mjesto, pobjednik Confederation Cupa, first place and the winner of Confederation Cup for 2023, Tenerife Marlins, Spain, Spanish Cup.
As Tenerife Marlins are coming and receiving the championship trophy, and a great job by a team, well-deserved win in this tournament, and amazing baseball team and amazing baseball players really showed off defensively and offensively and around the bases. Really great job, and as teams are gathering and gonna take a group picture now, so we're gonna
Please, gather around for a group picture.
so one group picture as we're gonna leave you right here.
Group picture.
We're gonna leave you right here and with the sounds and sights of Karlovac tournament. So I wanna thank
Uskoro nova bejsbol uzbuđenja u Karlovcu, uskoro kreće doigravanje za nastup prvaka Hrvatske. Olimpija 3 puta uzastopno, nadamo se da će i 4. Pa vidimo se opet na tribinama krajem lipnja, početkom srpnja.
Yes, we want to thank you all for staying here with us, being here with us. It was amazing tournament, well-organized tournament, a lot of people being involved, and a really special thanks to all these volunteers that are behind the scenes that make this happen. As Karlovac once again proves that is in top teams in Europe, not just playing-wise, but organizational-wise, being able to organize such an event as this cup. So hope to see you all in the future, and check out and follow our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, Olympia Baseball Club Olympia Karlovac, for new games and the playoffs, as Karlovac team is hunting for the 4th title in a row. Thank you very much. I've been Damir, Denny, K, Karin. Thank you for being here, and goodbye from K-Town.